Welcome back to part 2 of the Total Gym vlog series, Reclaim Your Wellness During the Holidays. In part 1, we focused on how movement supports digestion and detoxification, so be sure to check that out too. This Total Gym workout incorporates light movement to encourage lymphatic flow. These movements will leave you feeling refreshed and ready to tackle the holiday season. For the setup, you'll start with your incline at a medium level with your squat stand attached. As you go through the exercises, you want to really focus on lengthening your muscles, utilizing your breath, and really being light on your feet so that you can work your body from the inside out and drain your lymphatic system as you move through the motions. Each exercise will be performed for 10 to 15 reps based on how you feel, and you can do a one and done set, or you can choose to perform as many as you'd like. So let's get right into the exercises. The first exercise is a light jog crunch. You'll sit at the very bottom of your glide board and you'll have your hands cupped at the bottom on the cushioning part. As you lie down into a supine position, make sure that your hips are at the very bottom and you'll walk your feet up onto the squat stand. From a hip distance width apart position, let's just start to bend into a squat so that your knees and your toes are in the same direction. Once you start to feel comfortable with that, you'll take it into a little hop. As you do this, you're landing light through the balls of the feet and then the arch and then the heel. Once you feel comfortable with that, you'll start to take it into the jog. So you're taking it into a little march. The hands will start to come back behind your head. You'll lift your chest up so that you feel your core engaged. Your lower back is pressing into the glide board at all times. And you're able to look at your feet where they're landing so that you land on the same spot every time. Now to add a little challenge, you can add an oblique crunch. So I'm rotating the torso to the opposite knee. And again, I'm landing very light through my feet, benefiting the circulation of the body, draining that lymphatic system, working through my hips, my knees, my ankles, and of course the core. Next is an exercise I call circle squats. It'll help work your hips in all different angles and of course help loosen up and drain the lymphatic system. So come down to that supine position again, cup the glide board so that you have your hips at the very bottom. Walk your heels up to the top of your squat stand and we'll start into a low squat. So my glide board is open. As I press back, my hips are going to rotate out. I'm pivoting on my heels, and as I extend, I'm rotating my knees in. So I'm making these circles of my legs externally here. So I'm opening out to the side, push out, close and lower in, push out, rotate out, bring them in and close in. Then you'll reverse it. You'll come in with the legs, and then as you lower, they go out to the sides. So you're doing this internal, external rotation of the hips, and it should feel really nice. So it's just a light movement here, but the movement that you're doing is really helping the flow of your entire lower body. Next is a seated calf pump. So you'll sit at the bottom of your glide board. Your hands will go back behind you. Walk your feet up to the very bottom of your squat stand. And you're just going to drop one heel down. So my leg is straight on one side. And I'm going to drop the heel underneath of that squat stand. My other leg stays bent. And then I come up to my toes and then lower down the other side. So I'm alternating back and forth from this little pointing and flexing position. My chest is lifted. My spine is long. And as I do this, I'm feeling that pump through my calves. It's a nice stretch through the back of the leg, but it also has that pumping circulation movement and action so that we can really drain that lower body, because all of your blood goes to the bottom of your leg. You have to circulate back up to your body. So we want to make sure that we are pumping and getting everything moving so that you feel your best and light on your feet. For the last two exercises, you'll lower your incline and connect your cables. You'll come down to a supine position with your head at the very top of your glide board and your feet are on the bottom. Your arms will extend up and out from your chest. We'll start here and press the arms down to our hips, out to the side, and make a big circle. So as you do this, you want to think about your shoulders, controlling the motion from the shoulder joint. And then we're going to add a little bit of our lower body so that we get our hips involved too. So we're lifting our hips as the arms come down, and we lower the hips as the arms come up. So we're lifting the hips, lowering the hips, circling the arms, and lowering. Now, if that becomes a little too complex and too much coordination, you can just keep the hips up and do the same motion here. And as you want to test it out, you can add those hips back in. And of course, you want to make sure that you do this in both directions, lowering the hips, lifting the hips. So again, you'll notice it's a pumping type of emotion, so that we're working through that lymphatic system and pumping out through our joints. And our last exercise are decline arm raises. So you'll face your vertical column and you'll come down to an inverted position with your feet at the very top this time and your head at the bottom. So we're flushing out that lymphatic system and draining our body. All right, so our arms will come up to our head or towards our chest and then lower back down. So this just depends on the range of motion. And you don't want to have a too high of an incline because then you'll be struggling, because this is a very challenging exercise. So we can take our arms up, we can take them out to the side here or directly out to the side. So the whole goal here is to change the angle depending on where you are. And you can add those hips again to add a little bit of a challenge. So every time we lift, we can lift the hips up and lower slightly. And you'll notice it feels a lot different than when we face the opposite way. So if you do want to add a little bit of a modification, just flip your body around and you'll perform the same exercise, but in this position. So our head is higher, our hips are lower. So my arms will come down at that little angle or directly out from the sides. And again, you can add the hip lift. So the more that you're moving the body, working through your joints, and really breathing through this, you're draining that lymphatic system in a pumping type of emotion so that we get the fluids moving and you feel like your body is circulating from the inside and releasing all the toxins out. By incorporating these targeted exercises and mindful wellness strategies, you're giving your body the tools to navigate the holidays so that you can indulge with greater ease and resilience. With a combination of digestive support and lymphatic activation, you'll not only feel grounded, but you'll feel equipped to take on everything that the holiday brings. Wishing you a vibrant and balanced holiday season.